What's up, guys? This is Josh with the Right, and today we're going to be talking about stream of consciousness writing, especially from the perspective and brilliant work of William Faulkner. So stream of consciousness writing is a kind of writing that presents the thoughts of a character, whether it's your own autobiographical thoughts or your character's thoughts as they occur. With stream of consciousness writing, sometimes characters talk to themselves or have thoughts triggered by free association or see flashing lists of words or mental pictures, for example. William Faulkner, James Joyce, and Virginia Woolf are three of the most well-known stream of consciousness writers. Before stream of consciousness writing was invented, writers would just tell the reader what the character was thinking. Stream of consciousness, however, actually puts the reader inside the character's mind, as the writer writes as though he or she is inside of the mind of the character. We all jump from one topic to the next in our minds, and fairly rapidly. Stream of consciousness writing captures that process. Here's one of Faulkner's more chaotic examples of stream of consciousness writing. You might go up into Maine for a month. You can afford it if you're careful. It might be a good thing. Watching pennies has healed more scars than Jesus, and I suppose I realize what you believe. I will realize. Up there next week or next month, and then you will remember that for you to go to Harvard has been your mother's dream since you were born, and no Compson has ever disappointed a lady. And it will be better for me, for all of us. And every man is the arbiter of his own virtues, but let no man prescribe for another man's well-being. And he was the saddest word of all. There's nothing else in the world. It's not despair until time. It's not even time until it was. The last note sounded. I love examples like these because this isn't really at all how I normally think, but I get a wonderful snapshot of the internal thought process of Faulkner's characters, and that's really amazing. Now let's take a look at William Faulkner's use of stream of consciousness in As I Lay Dying. In this novel, he switches between various styles of stream of consciousness, depending on which character is narrating this section. For the sake of brevity, we're just going to go over two of the characters in the novel. I know there's more, but we'll go over Darl and Cash. So Darl is the most complex person in the book, and his stream of consciousness reveals a philosophical, contemplative mind that is constantly trying to make sense out of the tangled complexities of life. Faulkner uses poetic imagery to represent Darl's intellectual, detailed, and somewhat amorphic thoughts. Here's an example of Darl's stream of consciousness. It is as though the space between us were time, an irrevocable quality. It is as though time, no longer running straight before us in a diminishing line, now runs parallel between us like a looping string, the distance between the doubling accretion of the thread and not the interval between. All right, now let's take a look at Cash. Cash is the polar opposite of Darl. He prefers logic and concrete thoughts over Darl's abstract musings. Also, he can only focus on one thought at a time. So, for example, when he's building the coffin, he can't think of any other concept aside from the coffin. This makes for a very simple stream of thought that some people might consider unintelligent, but Cash isn't dumb. He's just down to earth, tangible, and very physical, hands-on, with a tunnel vision sort of focus. Here's one of his stream of consciousness thoughts. Sometimes I think it ain't none of us pure crazy and ain't none of us pure sane until the balance of us talks him that away. It's like it ain't so much what a fellow does, but it's the way the majority of folks is looking at him when he does it. See the stark contrast between Cash and Darl? That's a form of juxtaposition, by the way. Basically, two things being seen or placed close together for an artistic, contrasting effect. If you want to learn more about juxtaposition, I actually just did a video on it. You could go ahead and click that link right up there. Anyway, those are just a couple stream of consciousness writing examples. I encourage you to read the book to digest all of Faulkner's examples and consider the ways you'd use them in your writing. Obviously, it's great for developing characters, but think about it from a nonfiction perspective too. I use stream of consciousness writing in storytelling, which, of course, applies to every genre of writing. I use it in blog and magazine articles to paint a vivid picture of my own internal thought process, my emotions, my instincts, intuitions, or musings. Sometimes I use it to capture and communicate my reader's thought process or the semi-subconscious of someone they clearly relate with. Ultimately, you can use stream of consciousness writing in pretty much any style or genre of writing and to a great effect. So try it out. I think you'll have fun with it. And if you stick with it, your writing will improve as a result. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.